I bet you're wondering why the lads are stood on a rooftop in New York City, freezing the you-know-what off. Well, it's because Dana White has just released some big information about fights that are going to kick off 2024 in the UFC. January main event, February main event, and March main events all announced. We'll start in January. And boys, I'm delighted about this because there's been loads of chat about what would happen in the middleweight division. Sean Strickland is the champion. Who's next in line? A lot of back and forth. I'm absolutely delighted that it's going to be Dricus du Plessis.
Dricus du Plessis is the #1 contender. Why is that? Because he knocked out Robert Whittaker, who was the long-time #1 contender, the next best middleweight on the planet. He knocked him out. You beat the man, you become the man. But then Khamzat Chimaev comes in, beats Kamaru Usman, and all of a sudden, Pet's heads are falling off all over the place. Well, guess what? We're back to normal. We're back to how it should be. Dricus du Plessis taking on Sean Strickland. I can't wait for it. That's the fight that should have happened in the first place. Makes all the sense in the world to me.
It does make all the sense, and listen, I understand why Dana dangled that carrot, because Kamaru took the fight at late notice, and Khamzat was jumping up against a tough opponent there. But if Khamzat isn't fit, and more to the point, did Khamzat really win? I personally scored at a draw. I'd be into seeing Khamzat Usman Part 2, and maybe the winner then takes on the winner of Strickland versus DDP.
And let's DDP.
DDP.
I like that.
All right, DDP. Yeah. But let's remember, Khamzat's injured as well, right? He thought he had a broken hand, he's torn a ligament, so maybe he's not quite ready to turn around quite so quickly. Dricus du Plessis is going to give Sean Strickland a very, very tough test. If you're beating Robert Whittaker, that is not a man to take lightly, and as we've seen, Sean's a very, very worthy champion. Beat Israel Adesanya after all, so what a fight that's going to be. And let's just throw this out there. We were talking about how, just recently, you know, Alexander Volkanovski steps up on short notice, how the UFC brought that together, how they brought Kamaru Usman in at the last minute and brought these fights, right? Yeah. Now, Tom Aspinall steps in, right, this week to take on Sergey Pavlovich. Last minute, how they can do all this. Well, look at this. The fights keep on coming. I mean, this is absolutely sensational. No promotion other than the UFC on planet Earth could do this.
Absolutely. And that's just January. That's our main event in January.
What we got in February?
Well, I'll tell you what we've got coming up in February, because he's back. That's right. We all thought that maybe he should take a little bit of a rest, but that is not in the makeup of Alexander Volkanovski. No. Back down to 145 to defend his championship against Ilia Topuria. Wonderful, wonderful fight. But the stats are against Alexander Volkanovski, because no man in those weight divisions between 125 right up to 155 at the age of 35 has ever won or defended a world championship. He's looking to do history against a serious contender.
Yeah, Ilia Topuria, let's remember, this man is undefeated. Look at how he handled Bryce Mitchell. Went out there, mate, dominated him, got the finish. I think it was in the second round, if I'm not mistaken. Also, this is big for Spanish MMA. As we were talking earlier, the sport is truly global now. This could be the chance for the first ever Spanish champion to go out there against Volkanovski, a man that everybody loves, everybody respects and admires. And I, for one, I'm such a fan of the man. And he's turning around very quickly after that stunning knockout against Islam Makhachev. I don't think it's too quick. I think it's fine. You know, I think he'll be more than fine mentally and physically. But Ilia Topuria will give him a tough test. And again, can't wait for this.
Absolutely brilliant, and similar to Dricus du Plessis getting his opportunity, Ilia Topuria has worked his way into this #1 contender spot. He deserves his chance, and full credit to Alexander Volkanovski. He could have easily gone, you know what, after a knockout like that, 6 months off, see you in the summer. But he isn't, because he's a champion, and he's got that mentality that he wants to get back in, he wants to put it right. Oh.
You want another one? You want another one?
Give us another
I'll give you
one.
another one, because we're going to March. Are you ready for this one? Suga Sean O'Malley shot to fame at the back end of this year with a phenomenal victory over Aljamain Sterling. He's the guy in the bantamweight division. There's loads of runners and riders that he could be fighting, Mirab and various others that have been touted. However, there's a little bit of an anomaly on his record. Was it not? Chito, Vera, has got beef with the champ, and he's being catapulted in to a world title shot. March the timeline. What a fight that is in bantamweight, because Chito's got a win over him, and he'll fancy that he can do it again.
Chito's the only person to get a win over him, and it was a stoppage. Let's remember, he kicked the calf, he kicked the peroneal nerve. The foot went numb, he went on the floor, and Chito finished him with a series of elbows, okay? O'Malley calls it a fluke. It wasn't a fluke. I love O'Malley. I'm very good friends and training partners with Chito Vera. It was a phenomenal fight the first time. And this one makes all the sense. Listen, the way O'Malley went out there and beat Aljamain Sterling proves that he's got power to go behind the slickness and the style and the charisma that Sean O'Malley has. And this has a lot of history. It's a rematch. It's personal. They can't stand each other. I'll tell you what, January, February, March, hold on. October, November, December, January, February, March. Save your money if you live in America, because you need to buy every single one of these pay-per-views.
And plus we've got UFC 300 coming up in April as well. It's just insane. But apparently that fight's going to Phoenix as well. Sean O'Malley, home advantage, extra pressure there. It's a different thing when you're climbing a mountain. When you're at the top of the tree, it's harder to keep hold of that belt. And Chito, you feel like the momentum is with Chito Vera. What a fight that is.
Oh, you're picking Chito early, I see.
Look at that, look at that. Listen, 3 incredible main events to kick off 2024, as Nick just alluded to there as well. We've got the big anniversary show of UFC 300 to come. The first quarter of 2024 in the UFC on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus is going to be absolutely insane.